All right, so once again, I'm live. Um, got Chak coming on. I don't know about Frank tonight. Um, but I do got Chak coming on. Um, we should be fine. Um, which is very interesting. All right. What's up, man?
What's up with it?
You doing all right?
Oh yeah. Just trying to set this laptop up. Let me see. Hit you with the hit you with the let's see. Let you know I'm in the chisette. Let's see. hmm What's going on, man? How was your day, bro?
It's doing all right. Um, just I told you the power was off, but a lot of things went down today. Talking about disinformation campaigns. I got a couple of things I got to cover here tonight. Some things I
Uh
didn't get to last night and some other things. Watch this. Once you hear this now, they coming back with disinformation again.
Based on the Democratic ticket, we now have confirmation
huh.
from a member of Congress and an exclusive report from the Daily Mail confirming this news. Biden will be replaced very soon. We're going to get into those details here in a second. But first, the White House in full panic mode. And here's why. Watch.
CNN senior data reporter Harry Enton is with us. So where does the race stand among African-American voters right now?
Yeah, I keep looking for this to change, to go back to a historical norm. And it simply put, has not yet. So this is the margin, or Biden and Trump among black voters compared to where we were at this point in 2020. An American vote. Look at this now. It's 70%. That's a 16-point drop, John. And more than that, it's not just that Joe Biden is losing ground. It's that Donald Trump is gaining. You go 7%, single digits at this point in 2020, to now 21%. And again, John, I keep looking for signs that this is going to go back to normal, and I don't see it yet in the polling. If anything, right now we're careening towards a historic performance for Republican presidential candidate, the likes of which we have not seen in 6 decades.
And when you dig into this number here, what is the make of that number?
This is where we're very interesting.
You keep jumping off, man.
To age 50 and older. And you'll see, look, Joe Biden was leading amongst this group at this point by 83 points back in 2020. Now it's 74 points. So, yeah, a slight decline in that margin, but nothing out of this world. Look at black voters under the age of 50. Holy cow, folks. Holy cow. Look at this. Joe Biden was up by 80 points among this group back at this point in 2020. Look at where that margin has careened down towards it. It's now just, get this, 37 by more than afterburn home. I think like this. I'm like, because you always look at history and you go, okay, this is a historic moment. If this polling is anywhere near correct, we're looking at a historic moment right now where black voters under the age of 50, which have historically been such a big part of the Democratic coalition, are leaving it in droves.
Someone in the chat says, that's racist.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
It's neo racism to
Neo
tell people
racism.
that they should believe something because of the color of their skin.
So that's why the White House is in full panic mode. That, among other reasons, trying to censor videos of the president wandering off stage, wandering around fields, falling asleep during world meetings. It's a disaster, absolute disaster. Here is Biden team calling for social media disinformation censorship after the G7 mishap. Now, many of you may have seen this where he sort of meanders around in the field there, and Georgia Maloney has to like come over and corral him back in. Look at the New York Post headline today: Meander in chief. Biden embarrasses U.S. with confused wanderings at the World Conference. And this wasn't just the only one. It was multiple. And so here was that moment where he just wanders off as these parachutists are coming down. Watch.
Markets move fast, and now you can too.
Also, last night, awkward moment with President Biden where he was looking very doddery. He was wandering around. He sort of wandered off, and Giorgia Meloni, the Italian premier, had to sort of guide him back to the crowd. It was quite painful viewing. Everyone's putting a slight brave face on it this morning. We've got some more for that for the paper tomorrow. But yeah, you can see from that footage yourself. It's this is getting embarrassing now. And you do really wonder how President Biden is going to be able to run a election campaign in October and November for re-election. And if he won, is that a man he really thinks is going to get through the next 4 years?
No, the answer is no, you won't. And that's what we're going to get to here in a second. Now, the Biden campaign spokeswoman says these videos are disinformation. So, that's fake news, what you just saw there, him just wandering around. It was him. He was really captivated by something. It's not.
Well, what they're explaining is you see him looking at another parachuter, and all the other world leaders are looking at the one who's just landed in front of them. So he's kind of like, well, that one's cool too. Like a child, not sure where everyone is supposed to be putting their attention. So you can see it was kind of Giorgia Meloni to go and guide him clearly.
And also it's technically misinformation because we don't have all the facts. We didn't see what he was looking at. Disinformation is if you've seen the facts, you know them, and you're outright saying that's not true.
Right.
This is misinformation because we don't know. We don't know exactly what he was looking at.
It almost doesn't matter. They had planned that all the world leaders were going to interact with this thing, and Biden doesn't understand the plan. That's just doesn't matter what he actually was looking at, even if there was something interesting somewhere else.
So this is what their campaign is saying, that these things are, disinformation, misinformation. But how can you hide this from Saturday night, where President Obama has to literally lead Biden off a stage because he doesn't know where to go? And this one went viral over the past few hours. Watch. So there they are saying goodbye. Obama walking off. Here we go. Let's go. And he just stands there. And the White House says, and there's Jimmy Kimmel. Let's go. Let's pull you off. Mr. President.
Like, he's been standing there too long.
I mean, just look at the two of them, like, you okay? Let me walk you off all gingerly. Let me just follow
this is fine.
Follow the red arrow on the floor. See
just
that
like
red
old
arrow?
times, Joe.
And just look at his hands when he walks now. He like keeps them perfectly like straight down and does. And I saw a doctor was saying that that's a sign of mental stuff, but like he's like this.
Stuff.
And he kind of does this now. When he used to be like all animated and everything.
Yeah.
Definitely want to go to a doctor that says mental stuff.
What do you have, doctor? Mental stuff.
You have some mental stuff. Mental stuff. Doctor. This video was just leaked though, so now we know that was the end of it. Now we see this. The video just leaked showing Biden because someone filmed it inside. I guess you weren't really allowed to use phone cameras or whatever. This is Biden stumbling over his words. This is such an embarrassing moment here. So Obama's just like looking on as President Biden. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Watch.
And guess what? It's growing. The economy's growing. People doing better. We have the highest unemployment, the lowest unemployment rate in 50 years. We have more people. We've had over 15 million people ready to hire into the workforce. My son says we all have various short-term descriptions for your jobs, for what you accomplished. You should say Joe Jobs.
So Adrian,
that was the punchline.
Yeah, I guess.
was the
That was the punchline of the joke. Adrian Elrod from the Biden campaign explains how this is disinformation. So she went on MSNBC to say, like, all these videos you're seeing of the president wandering around, stumbling over his words, can't put a sentence together, and the private meetings that are people, it's all just, don't worry, it's all just fake news.
Disinformation is alive and well. We have to use surrogates and voices across the country to combat this and make it clear that not only do we not play this game, but to your point, President Biden was out there literally representing America at the G7, saluting our troops, doing what he does as president of the United States. And look, we're going to see more of this. I mean, this is just the reality of campaigning in 2024. So we have to combat that disinformation. We have to hit it hard when it happens and make it clear that these are dirty tactics that MAGA Republicans are using because they can't run on the issues, Lemire. They have to use these dirty tactics like this because they are not right with Americans on the issues. So we're going to see more of this. We're going to do what we can to combat it. But it does take the voices of surrogates across the country. It does take the media to call it out. It does take social media platforms where a lot of Americans are getting their information to point it out as well.
Yeah. So you guys have to do your part. You guys have to fight disinformation. So when you see President Biden wandering off, you need to go on social media and say, he's not wandering off. He just saw a rabbit jump into the forest.
No, that's exactly what I saw liberals doing just today, saying,
all right, Chak, what do you think about this, man? They saying if you're saying Biden is not mentally right, you're spreading disinformation. You heard that shit?
All over the earth, God is raising up a new breed of wealth builders who will use their money to shape the course of world history without.
all right, well, why does Maine?
Chak, can you hear me? Yo. Yeah, Chak. Well, let me bring this up. I think it's kind of interesting that the way they got this thing set up. So, it's a lot of stuff going on, but they don't want you to comment on Biden's mental acuity, obviously, because that would wreck a lot of things, I guess, they would say. So they're probably gonna have to. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yo, Chak. Yo. Which one of you is open, man? All right, can you hear me? I see you, but I can't hear you. But look, yeah, you're right, Rashawn Green. There's no way he can be on the debate stage. That's correct. A lot of things going on here. So maybe just the way it's going. This next video is a little bit more graphic.
Want people to stay on drugs. They specifically want people to die, it seems, by this new taxpayer-funded program. Here's another example of the state handing out drugs without noticing that drug decriminalization and promoting drugs does not help. In fact, it just makes people die faster. But then as they do that, they pat themselves. This is how compassionate the state of Maine is. They're handing out boofing kits to fentanyl addicts. Boofing is when you drugs up your butthole. I say again, sorry.
Oh my God.
That's what it is. Yeah. We're not doing it. We're not going to show you how to do it. We're telling you
Yeah,
that
no
Maine
demonstrations.
will teach you how to. No, not today, honey.
No, Maine will teach you, and they'll hand you a pamphlet on how to do it. That's
Yes.
that, and taxpayers will pay for
I
it.
will show you the pamphlet in just a second. So I warned you, if you're eating something, just set that aside till the next one, because this is on the taxpayers. And I'm going to tell you why the heck someone would do this. So, okay. Bufa means fart in Portuguese. What? Why'd
Okay.
you give me that look?
Okay, because that's gross. I don't need to
Yeah.
know.
And so boofing, I don't know if that is related or all. It's a weird word. I don't like it, but now you know how the kids
Nice.
Well, what's
were
weird is we use that word when we were young, like kids in school.
Bufa?
That was a word. Yeah. Yeah. No, boofing.
Oh.
Like that was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right, let's not go there. So this is from Maine Access Point. It's a taxpayer-funded program that's part of the Maine Recovery Council, and this is real. This is part of the handout that goes with a boofing kit. And here's the actual taxpayers made this, guys. Like image of the butt and the syringe.
Oh,
And literally look at the try boofing exclamation point. This is, if you really want to know, then you can screenshot this and look later. And here's Gladys. So not only have they done this super catchy, like Saved by the Bell looking flyer, but also they have this info video telling people exactly why somebody should boof. I don't know if you use it that way, but here's how they explain it.
So what boofing is inserting drugs into your rectum. And of the main reasons people do it is because there's a lot of blood vessels in your rectum, area. I always go for boofing. Snorting can be a little too big of a job.
I love that because it helps with our mind. So if you're having a really hard time, hitting, and it's really starting to get, and you're getting in your head about it, and you're starting to get frustrated, just knowing that you do have an option of boofing or booty bumping is I don't know. I think maybe brings a little bit more ease, right? You're like, okay, I'm getting really frustrated. This is really like I'm not working. Okay,
then if you want to inject later because you inject anyway, it's fine. But you're getting yourself well.
Yeah. She always recommends it.
Idea. Yeah.
She always recommends.
Always.
She's just like she's out at a Starbucks or she's out to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, hey friends, I know we haven't been talking about this for a while, but I always recommend boofing.
Yeah.
I always recommend that.
I mean,
have you ever boofed
God.
for bucks?
No. You think is a very demotivate for people when you're actually trying to get them better, and you're like, "This is how I'm going to get you better." You've wasted all your veins in your arm, and she said too big of a jump. Like this is okay. Like the nose is a bridge too far, but this is not. I'm so confused now.
Become new liberal capital of the country thing, like forget like all the drugs shoot up in San Francisco, move to Maine.
Okay. Now they do this because they think that they don't users will do dangerous things in order to get the drugs anyway. So they don't believe that there's any way to really get them to stop. They think they need to just continue to give them this drip.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put it out there that it just go to show you how far they willing to go on the taxpayer dollar for this dumb stuff, these pet projects. And as Chak said, that's also the way they've been trying to get you in the butthole. So, Chak, you there? Chak. You hear me?
Look, I'll cut the malarkey. We're facing the.
All right. Chak. Going on here. I don't know if it's a video or not. I don't know what's going on with that. Anyway, this is about the Surgeon General wanting labels on social media.
Remember when the U.S. Surgeon General wanted warning labels on social media platforms? Dr. Vivek Murthy announced yesterday he believes that social media is associated with significant enough mental health harms for adolescents that it is justified putting warning labels on the product. Now, Murthy is receiving support from two senators, Democrat Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut and also Republican of Tennessee, Marsha Blackburn. Both are vocal advocates for policing social media to supposedly protect children online.
The two senators said in a statement, "We are pleased that the Surgeon General, America's top doctor, continues to bring attention to the harmful impact that social media has on our children. The warning label would require congressional approval." Here, Murthy was talking about his push for the warning label on the Today Show.
Why do you think a warning label would actually work? I mean, we think of smoking labels, yet people still smoke.
Well, Savannah, I'm really glad you asked. And let me just first say, parents are struggling all over the country. I've spent time with thousands of parents over the last few years all over America. And the number one question they often ask me about is social media. They want to know, is this safe for my kids? How should I manage it? And what the data is telling us, Savannah, is not only have companies not demonstrated that their platforms are safe for kids, but there is growing evidence of harm. It shows us, in fact, that when adolescents spend more than 3 hours a day on social media, we're seeing an association with a doubling of risk of anxiety and depression symptoms. And the average amount of use per day among adolescents is nearly 5 hours. So that's deeply concerning to me, not just as Surgeon General, but as a parent myself. Now, a warning label would help parents to understand these risks.
Some are not responding to this news well. One ex-user wrote, "If we keep the youth off of social media and corporations and others that manipulate them, they cannot be sued. And truthful information cannot be censored as it has been through mainstream media and social media now. Maybe we should ban the cell phone altogether. Do we really know its damages to our health?"
I utterly oppose this. I think this is a total moral panic. It is the harms associated with social media compared to the harms associated with cigarette smoke. Cigarettes, lung cancer has killed thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people over the decades. Okay, fine. How many people has social media credibly killed? Is there anyone? And they'll say, Teens have been bullied on social media.
Suicide, higher suicide risks. Yeah.
Teens have been bullied in real life. School is a bullying experience for many young people. We haven't banned school.
I certainly remember that.
Right. It hasn't. There's no evidence bullying and harassment for teenagers has gotten worse. In fact, in a lot of ways, it's clearly improved. I was a young man once. You were a young man once. It used to be like explicit physical violence for young men involved in school. There's like a lot of zero tolerance for that now. I would never make the case that social media is harmless and there are no harms associated with it. I think excessively doing anything can be bad for you. And I totally support parents putting limits on how much exposure their kids to have to social media. I think schools should put limits on how much there's social media in the schools. I think, yes, there should not be phones in the classrooms, just like there shouldn't be a Nintendo Switch in the classroom. I don't know. It's not anywhere. People say like, oh, it's distracting. Well, you're doing something.
A game system, a laptop.
Right, it doesn't make sense to me.
An iPad.
So fine. But these specific harms about concerns about harms to children have not been very exhaustively litigated in the social psychology research. I've done debates on this subject with Jonathan Haidt, who's the leading kind of scholar on this. Obviously, he's a very smart man, and he has a lot of profound concerns, and he's assembled research to support that. I'm not at all persuaded by looking at it. There's for everyone that says there are harms here. There's research not finding specific harms for people who use it reasonably. There's some research finding that kids who are never using social media are the most depressed of all.
Yeah, because they're not included in
talk to their friends. So I just don't think this should be at the level yet of government decision making at all. I would leave it to individual parents and families. Now, I don't know what a warning label is.
Yeah, is it like a pop-up every time you open the app? This just reminds me of Michael Bloomberg and the Big Gulp when he tried to ban the Big Gulp in New York.
Exactly.
The quintessential nanny state, government intrusion. And look, I'm a liberal, so I'm usually a fan of the government. But here, this is where parents need to come into play. This is where the community needs to come in and actually be the ones to set the rules and how we're going to go about doing things. I don't think the government coming in and saying we're going to put warning signs, what's next? Are they going to tell us how many hours a day we can use it? Are they going to regulate the actual usage of it?
I mean, it's speech also.
The actual usage of it.
I mean, it's speech also. Unlike
Absolutely.
Cigarettes, which are just not a speech-related product unless you're expanding the First Amendment very strongly, which I...
Check. No, what's going on with that? Yeah, they're trying to regulate that too. So let me get to one other social media star. This woman been on thorn in people's side.
A woman who was working on Wall Street. She realized that she was making a ton of money and she had a...
Joining me now to discuss all of this is the Democratic Congresswoman from Texas, Jasmine Crockett. She's a member of the Oversight and Accountability Committee. And also with us is Michael Waldman, the president and CEO of the Brennan Center for Justice. Welcome to both of you. Michael is also the author of the book Supermajority, The Year the Supreme Court Divided America, which is out in paperback just this week. But Congresswoman, first question to you. Any effort to fix the ethical mess on the court is very likely to be met with opposition from your Republican colleagues. We already saw that happen in the Senate this week. How do you convince your colleagues across the aisle that the Supreme Court needs fixing when this is the court that has given Republicans so much of what they want?
I don't think it's my voice that they actually will pay any attention to. I think it's going to be up to the voters. I think for the first time, voters are talking about the Supreme Court as they're considering who it is that they are going to vote for president, as well as during some of those down ballot elections. And so one reason that Democrats may actually hold on to the Senate is because of the Supreme Court and the fear that if for some reason Republicans are given control of the Senate, that they will actually make the Supreme Court even worse than it is. And God knows how bad that could be for us as a country if this court gets any worse. So I don't think that they're really willing to listen to me, but I absolutely believe that the people are the only ones that are going to be able to rectify this issue.
So, Michael, the Congresswoman raises a really interesting point. Most people are used to thinking about the Supreme Court as the impartial branch of government. How do you think the public is going to respond with the court being at the center of politics, and that politics may actually be the best source of solutions for everything that ails the court right now?
Melissa, many other times in our history, the Supreme Court and its role and whether it's gone too far has been a big electoral issue, a big political issue. Right now, all the polls show that public trust in the court has collapsed to the lowest level ever recorded. More and more people are seeing that it's a governmental agency. These are 9 government officials. They wear robes, but they're not wizards or religious figures. They're just government officials with lifetime appointments. So I think it's entirely appropriate to have it be a big issue. The Democrats have made reproductive freedom an issue, but they have not yet really
making the court a big issue, so focus on the court's relationship to some of these other electoral issues. So, Congresswoman, one in the bump stock case that was decided yesterday, Justice Alito wrote, quote, "There is a simple remedy for the disparate treatment of bump stocks and machine guns. Congress can amend the law and perhaps would have done so. The situation is clear. Congress can act." Congresswoman, is this gaslighting? Justice Alito, as well as anyone, knows how difficult it is going to be to pass gun reform legislation. Do you foresee Congress acting on this ahead of the election? And if it does, are you worried that any action would simply be invalidated by this court on the ground that those reform measures violate the Second Amendment?
Yeah, I'm sure Justice Alito will come up with some other explanation as to why, even if Congress did act, why that law is unconstitutional in some way. I'm sure the Second Amendment and all of those gun manufacturers will win again. Listen, we know that this is the most ineffective and unproductive Congress in the history of Congresses. We know that nothing is getting through, and we absolutely know that when it comes down to anything that has to do with guns, they are beholden to those corporations instead of being beholden to the people that actually put them into power. And so if we don't make this a big issue, and I think that you're absolutely right, what Democrats right now are doing is we're trying to tie together all these issues. And at the center and core of these problems is the Supreme Court. So I think that it's not a matter of talking about them separately, but it's about tying in repro to the Supreme Court, tying in guns to the Supreme Court, tying in diversity, equity, and inclusion to the Supreme Court, LGBTQIA, as well as climate change. All of these issues, when we see the decimation of them, they're at the hands of this rogue court.
Right, Michael, speaking of and being in the beholden to corporate interests, let's talk about Justice Thomas for a moment. You note in your book, Supermajority, which is out in paperback this week, and it's a terrific book, highly recommended. You note that there's an interesting dynamic going on between Chief Justice Roberts and Justice Thomas. You say, but Thomas holds the power. Can you say more about that dynamic between these two lions of the right?
Well, we give these courts the name of the Chief Clarence Thomas and ideas. The idea of the way he puts it as originalism, that only laws that are rooted in, quote, history and tradition, so view property to slow down the direction of the court, but Thomas's energy to push it and push the country in unrecognizable directions is really much more significant in the long run, I think, for this court.
So Roberts is really just a traffic cop, but Justice Thomas is sort of the intellectual heft of the conservative movement on the court.
And I think he was considered to be way at the fringe for many years, but now the fringe has become the mainstream on this court. And it's not just bad ideas, but he's entangled in this right-wing political and financial machine in ways that are also highly unusual.
Right, so that's a really good intervention to think about what has recently happened on the court. So Congresswoman, just this week, the court ruled that mifepristone can remain on the market for now. But we know that this is just a way station. Anti-abortion folks are not going to stop with wide access to medication abortion being available. What are your thoughts on the court's decision in this case? And what do you think the next steps are going to be as this issue goes back to the states and the public?
Yeah, so basically, what those anti-abortion groups were looking for was a roadmap.
No offense, but if you still think stocks, real estate, or crypto are the best passive income investment,
wake that ass up in the morning. The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Just Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
That's right.
We have Jasmine Crockett. Welcome.
Hey, y'all.
Now,
first of all, I don't like that this paper says that she's the owner of Bleach Blonde, Bad Built, Butch Body. As if that's the only thing she's ever done in her whole life. Like, what do you mean?
It is not the only thing.
It's a lot
That's
of
for
things.
sure.
That's right.
Yeah, but you know what? I appreciate Black Twitter. So let's give it up for Black Twitter. Because we have every genre of song, from country to gospel to trap music. We got it all. In fact, there's a really good blues version as well. But it's amazing when you think about politics. I never thought that I would be in a space where, number one, I would have to clap back on somebody like that, like in a committee. But number two, that people would actually pick it up and start educating people through song. So
Educating people.
Yeah, they educating them about, MAGA and Marge and all of them. So I appreciate it for what it is. But you're right. I'm so much more than that. And I appreciate that way before B6 came around, like you understood like the fights that I was waging for everyday people.
Well, let's break down for people that don't understand what happened that day, because we only seen clips. So what happened that day in front of Congress? So what happened? Break down everything that was going on.
Okay, so imagine that y'all skip out on work, because that's what the Republicans did. They decided to skip out on work. So we were supposed to have a hearing about our Attorney General, Merrick Garland, and they basically want to lock him up. But instead, what they did is they came to New York and they sat with Trump and coddled him while he was in trial, trying to make sure he did not get locked up. So they then said, you know what? Since we decided we was going to skip work, we're going to do our work at 8 p.m. So we Democrats have been on the Hill all day. They come back. We go into a hearing so that they can hold them in consent. We get in a hearing, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, the gentle lady from Georgia, starts talking about Judge Merchan. And I'm like, girl, do you know why we're here? Because like literally, like I'm already feeling away because
You've been there all day.
I've been there all day while y'all was playing up in New York. Like, go talk in front of those cameras about Judge Merchan, say what you got to say or whatever, because they were trying to get around the gag order. But I'm like, we here to talk about this. Say whatever you want to say about the Attorney General. And so she then came at me, was like, well, do you know why we're here? And she decided she wanted to talk about my eyelashes. And I was like, girl, you haven't like looked at yourself. But I didn't get up. I didn't, immediately say anything. I tried to follow the rules.
They let that slide, though. I was kind of upset about that, because
that was the thing. They did let it slide, and it was against the rules. So we have this rule talking about like personalities. You're not allowed to engage in personalities. Basically, I can't talk noise.
And why she make it seem like your eyelashes so long? Like you got 25 M's or something?
Wait a minute. I'm mad that you know the lengths. Nevertheless,
he wears them on the weekend.
I got four daughters, a wife.
You know what? Even if I got 50, it don't matter. It don't matter. Like, you doing the most. And honestly, you only came for me because I'm a Black woman. Because there are white women. In fact, one of my white female colleagues came up to me and was like, I may need to bleach my hair, but I'm not getting rid of my lashes. And so she was like, Marge would never say anything to me about my lashes, because she does. She wears lashes or whatever. So I'm just like, girl. And my initial retort, what I wanted to say is, you may still have your husband if you wore some lashes. But nevertheless, but I did not do that.
Yeah, that's right,
I did not do that. And AOC jumped in almost immediately. And AOC was like, yo, this is against the rules. But Comer decided I'm gonna let it slide. And of course, it to me is like what we always experience as Black women. It's like, you know what, somebody punched you, but that's okay. You'll be all right, girl. Sit there and take it. But here's the deal: we on the same level, and I'm not gonna sit there. And so I wanted to exemplify, number one, if this is how you're gonna conduct these hearings, I just want you to know that it's gonna be some real smoke coming from our side, right? And so I did not direct my words to her. I didn't even say her name.
You asked the question.
Which I asked a question. I asked a parliamentary question. And I did it in a somewhat poetic way. And so, you know, it ended up immediately taking off. My pastor actually called me while I was in committee.
What did the pastor say?
Listen, I was like, so y'all that don't know, my pastor's Freddie Haynes.
Freddie's
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah, he is. And so I was like, why he calling me? But it was late at night. So I declined it. And so I was like, I'm in committee. He was like, I know. And I'm like, well, why are you calling me?
You said God to voicemail. You said
They all got pastors, huh? If you take the P off pastor, you got
messenger.
Messenger.
To
I said,
voicemail.
I was in committee. I got to do the work of the
Jesus,
people.
Jasmine, all right.
And so
You heard that right? You heard that right? Come on, man. This is some funny shit, man. Woo! Now you back on now. You look, I talked about the movement
man.
thing with shooting the drugs up the ass. That's some crazy shit.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard about that.
In the
That's-
media, the Surgeon General, let me just catch back up. The Surgeon General said they need to put a warning on social media usage. But he a Surgeon General. Why he saying that? That should be a social. He's telling you that because they want you to make sure that you don't know nothing about the health things that regulations they're trying to put out. And they saying that if you're talking about Biden,
Right.
they want to monitor your page for disinformation for saying that he not right. But Democrats already telling you trying to replace Biden, knock him off the cliff anyway. So they want to label that disinformation or misinformation, whatever they want to do. So a lot of crazy shit going on. Now I'm getting with this woman. She talking about the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court need to be abolished. And she telling you right now that obviously she got a past name, Freddie Haynes. So
Hold
that's
on.
it.
She said the Supreme Court need to be what?
She said the Supreme Court is not doing diversity, equity, inclusion. They're not paying attention to the board. They're not doing what they're supposed to do for the people. They're not addressing
what is
climate
that?
change and all that stuff. She
The
said not
Supreme
addressing
Court are
climate
not supposed to do that. The Supreme Court, no, that's not their job. See, this is the people is ignorant. They only interpret, and they are there to interpret the laws that get passed through. They're not there to push laws, bro. You got to get the right proper chain of command and go through the right proper chain of command to get that legislation to them, and they will interpret it once they you know what I mean, get ratified. You know what I mean? They interpret the law. What I don't understand and see, this is why we keep getting left behind because we have people like her. What position is her position?
A congresswoman in Texas down there by you.
Then she's a congresswoman and telling a state congresswoman is telling that the Supreme Court need to get. See, this is the ignorant stuff, bro. And she in a position where they can, unless they blocking some of their stuff, they trying to get pushed. But it's gotta be reasonable and rational. It can't. And too much stuff been pushed out anyway with this LGBT goofy stuff, telling young boys that they can be girls.
Matter of fact, she said
Telling
that.
girls they can be boys.
She said Supreme Court not paying attention to LGBTQ rights. So she did say that. Come think about it.
They're not. They don't have no rights. They have a right as a human being, as a male gender and a female gender. That's already codified in the goddamn Constitution, bro. So why they trying to create this new dynamic? They already protected. They already protected. So that's a lie.
You damn right it's a lie.
They already
All right.
protected, bro. These people are insane, man.
Let me talk about 2 more minutes because I got to bring up this other thing from last night. Hold on. Oh, messed up. Hold on.
So then he was like, yo, you have to give me a warning before you say. And then he went into the phrase. So I was like, did my team put this on the internet? Because it literally was while I was still in committee. But I found out that it was going viral almost instantly. And yeah, my pastor hit me up.
So when did you write beach blonde, bad built, butch body? Like, was that something you
Great
had
alliteration.
in the cut ready?
No.
I love alliteration.
No,
Was that something you had in the cut? Because it was amazing.
It wasn't. So when Comer decided that he was going to rule against me, I literally looked over at her because she sits on the same row as me, and from head to toe,
he was like,
is what I did. And I was like, and I literally from head to toe. So my granny used to talk about people being bad built. So that was an ode to my granny. That was something she used to say.
The thing I loved about it, and you said it earlier about how if y'all keep coming at us like this, there's going to be smoke from this side. There should always be smoke from this side because everybody acts like what they do is so normal to the point that it's become normalized. So when you did that, it's like finally somebody's, reacting the way they should react to them.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, I think that we've seen the devolution of politics because people aren't pushing back and saying this is not what we do, right? And it's interesting because once I pushed back, there was all of this like attention on me, right? It's like, well, you were wrong. I mean, what did Michelle Obama say? It was all this kind of stuff, right? And it's like, no, like I don't think that that's what the former first lady meant, is for me to sit there and just have you talk to me crazy and we're on the same level and we're in a business setting. And so I'm like, that's not how I would think that she would want me to act. But nevertheless, I know my district. And how is it I'm going to say that I'm going to fight for you and I can't fight for myself?
That's right.
So I'm not going to sit here and allow the likes of a Marjorie Taylor Greene to sit there and clown me. But I did try to go through the process, which is something that she ignored. She's always ignored the rules. I at least was trying to follow the rules. But once they failed, I still never got outside of the rules. But it's about doing what they are trying to do and doing it better and doing it right. And that's exactly what I did. And I think that the Democrats have all the intellect on our side. So we can always do it better and smarter. It's a matter of, are we going to?
But do you have the courage? Like you showed courage. The reason I call a lot of Democrats cowards is because they don't exhibit courage. Yes, you have the intellect. You have the truth. You might even be doing the right thing. But where is the courage to stand up to this new type of conservative called MAGA?
Yeah. No, I think that there are those traditional Democrats that are really still stuck. They are.
Now you hear this bullshit he's spreading, man. You hear this bullshit. Oh man, this is some funny shit, man. This shit actually kind of sad. But I'm just letting you know she's making a tour. She only.
Well, see, this is what's going on, bro. And we talk about it all the time, dog. We talk about it all the time, dog. See, she pushing nothing but Democratic policies, bro. So these people, like us, what I call them, dog? What are they?
Jump for Cracker Jacks?
That too, they jumping for Cracker Jacks, but they're extremists. So they can only see through the blue lens. And then they got you, it's the divide between the red lens and the blue lens. So if you ain't Democrat, we're gonna deliver. And if I'm Democrat and you Republican, or I'm liberal and you conservative, anything policy you push, I'm always against it, no matter if it's tangible for the American people or not. I'm against it, and vice versa. If I'm Republican and conservative, and you blue and liberal, I'm always against your policy. So they are constantly keeping up the divide and stirring up the stereotypical things in politics. You know what I mean? They pushing the divide. This two-party, which really ain't really no, they really just keeping us, because at the end of the day, it's still gonna have to be what? Democratic House members and what? Republican House members to what? Decide on policies at the end of the day.
All right, look.
But they try to get extremists and try to push these extreme politics. You said what now?
All right, I'm gonna pull this up because we're going after some things. I wrote this down last night. We were talking about this last night. I'm pulling this up.
If you're a survivor, adult survivor of any form of sexual abuse, and your crime occurred after the year 2009, this is the time to come forward. You have until the end of 2026 to file a civil claim if you've been the victim of a sexual assault.
2026. Wow.
AB 2777 is a fix, sort of, because when the legislators changed the statute of limitations from 2 years to 10 years, there was some intent behind that change to make it retroactive. They didn't put that language in there. It didn't become retroactive. So as a solution to that, when the law changed,
But it should be retroactive because if it did, well, I don't know.
wanted to make
I
that
can't say that.
retroactive, which is why it goes back to the year 2009. But since that law didn't expressly make it retroactive, it passed AB 2777. You need to come forward and have your voice heard and reach out to a professional who deals in these kind of matters specifically. And that's what we do here at Door to Wing Law Group. Reach out to us. We're ready to listen. And if we feel you have a case, we'll be ready to fight for you and get you the justice that has long been deserved.
So that was a bill, AB 77 you were talking about.
Yeah, AB
277.
Yeah, 2777. Yeah, AB. Yeah, I'm gonna look that up because so pretty much it's a look back. They give you a chance to look back. They call it a cover up. They call it the cover up though. And they like us, I guess they allegedly a special team, like he said, of investigators, attorneys, or whatever, that look back on these cases and see if there was cover up, if there was any cover up. And they open them up and give them the victims, the alleged survivors of these alleged crimes, give them time to build a case, to present their case. And that's why you got an uptick in, but you only seen it on the celebrity sector though. I haven't really, I'm not saying you ain't getting no, they ain't getting no cases on the local, But we see a lot of these cases are popping up with the celebrity sector because it's all about money. It's a money grab. Not saying ain't nobody no victim and it never happened to them, but they only going for money. So I guess hey, this is the whole new thing that they started. At the end of 2026, I guess ain't no more. But I guess they've been made all the money they projected to make. Whether, people really getting real justice or not, or they just want to get some type of financial, seems like it's some type of financial, what's the name? Benefit. But
Financial benefit.
It's just a financial benefit.
I mean, well,
which is if harm was done and like medical bills need to be paid, and it's found out that this person is actually the guilty party and not just running people's name through the mud because hey, you can do it in these courts, United States courts, American courts. You can do that. You can take people to civil court and sue them. We see what happened to Alex Jones. Yep.
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm not an attorney, bro, but I think I got pretty much common sense, and that we know what this is. Like we see where this going. It's a money grab. Pretty much what it is, money grab.
All right. Oh shit. That ain't it. Hold it. Well, it might be it. No, it's not it. Hold on a minute. Why did that shit come up? That wasn't supposed to come up. All right, here we go. Black Music Month stuff. Black Music Month. Let's talk about this right quick. Let's talk about
this. Today, people want to downplay the Latino role in hip hop. Yep. They are so stupid. Yep. Really? Hip hop would not have existed without specifically Puerto Ricans. And specifically, Cubans were here, Haitians were here, Dominican Republic was here, everybody was here. All of South America been in the Bronx, okay? But Puerto Ricans in particular sided with the black folk here, and the Jamaicans were coming in as well. And this group of Puerto Ricans, Jamaicans, and American blacks made hip hop. Not American blacks, not Puerto Rican, not Jamaican. All of them made the culture. Today, people want to downplay the Latino role in hip hop.
Now, I don't know why he got into some daggone soliloquy in some room talking about this shit. I don't know what the hell made him do this. I really don't even care. I just think this thing getting a little out of hand. That they argue about this shit back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like, y'all just go talk about something else, man. God damn. Get a little bit out of control with this thing. Now, everybody want to monetize hip-hop now. One time, y'all didn't like hip-hop. Now, y'all love hip-hop. Now, y'all want to monetize. Now, y'all want to say y'all were the first. God damn, give it a fucking break. What do you think about this shit? You hear me? Chak. Damn, Chak. Hope it's staying straight. Three subsea cables go down in Vietnam, leading to mass internet outages. So in Vietnam, I guess they got cables underwater for the internet, but they went out. So the internet went out in Vietnam. That's just something to pay attention to. All you gotta do is pull up Vietnam outages, and it'll come right up. People need to pay attention. They could do that here. Pizza Hut closing restaurants. As you know, the pastor got arrested. Matter of fact, religion not working. A lot of people getting in trouble. Let me go to this interview from another day Chak sent me. Talking about
man, that I want to get your opinion on, and the people want to hear your take on, man. The first thing I do want to tap into, man, I want to get your opinion on it. Caitlin Clark, how you feel about everything that's going on with her right now?
The situation involving Caitlin Clark, I believe, is unfortunate for her because she has been relatively modest and quiet since entering the WNBA. I think the problem is that the white power structure and the WNBA has an agenda to make Caitlin Clark the athletic face of the league. Now, they can make her the marketing face of the league, but it's going to be difficult to make her the athletic face of the league because she is not to the WNBA what LeBron James was to the NBA. She's not a Luka Doncic or Nikola Jokic. She's not a Larry Bird, if you will. And so the problem, as I see it, is the WNBA wants to pass off responsibility for Caitlin Clark not being the instant athletic phenom they want her to be. They want to pass off that responsibility onto the Black women of the WNBA. And it appears that they're trying to push a narrative that says Caitlin Clark isn't able to maximize her talents on the court because she's being bullied by these much larger Black women. And that simply isn't true. Basketball is a competitive sport. You play to compete. That is the nature of athletics. So shaming and blaming Black women for competing against Caitlin Clark when you all took it upon yourselves to exaggerate her skill set simply isn't fair. You saw what happened the other day. There was a game that the Indiana Fever had with Chicago Sky. And Kennedy Carter, I believe is the sister's name, she had shoulder checked Caitlin Clark to the floor. The referees called a common foul, and the WNBA later upgraded the common foul to a flagrant foul. Well, everybody's up in arms calling Kennedy a bully. She's jealous. The Black women of the WNBA are jealous of Caitlin Clark because she's getting all of this attention. Wait a minute. Time out. Why didn't anyone talk about the play just before the one that led to the shoulder check? Caitlin Clark went over the head of one of Kennedy Carter's teammates, hit her in the head. The foul was not called. And then on a way back up the court, she proceeded to trash talk the opposing team. So, you know, in any sport, when you foul someone and it's not called, and then you have the audacity to trash talk the other team on your way up the court, paybacks are due. That's in the WNBA, that's in the NBA, that's in college, that's in Little League. What Kennedy Carter did happens all the time in the WNBA, the NBA, college, and other places. But because she's supposed to be the Cinderella of the WNBA, white America took issue with it, and nobody focused on the fact that she started the whole thing. And what really perturbed me was when I went to the sports commentators on television, I hear Charles Snow Bunny Barkley calling the Black women of the WNBA jealous. He said they're jealous of Caitlin Clark. And then Snow Bunny Shannon Sharp, he chimes in with the same false criticism, saying that they're jealous of Caitlin Clark. Nobody's jealous of Caitlin Clark. No disrespect to her, because I don't think she deserves this, because she hasn't said or done anything that would warrant anybody intentionally pursuing her beyond the fact that a lot of much better players are being overlooked in deference to the white rookie, which I could understandably recognize if you got players who've been in this league for 1 year or more years who are way better than Caitlin Clark, and they have been overlooked to be the athletic face of the WNBA, and everybody knows why. Because she's the new white girl who they want to be the ambassador for the sport. The problem is she isn't that good enough. And then Matt Barnes, he chimes in again with Snow Bunny Shannon Sharp, and they both say that Caitlin Clark's teammates are not protecting her. Protect her from what, Matt Barnes? Protect her from what, Snow Bunny Shannon Sharp? She started the altercation. She hit the girl in the head. I do believe it was inadvertent. It was a basketball play. I don't think it was a dirty, cheap shot, but you still hit her and the ref didn't call it. And then you trash talked her and you got what you were looking for. So why are you calling on Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark's teammate, to be the plantation mammy of the WNBA and play bodyguard for Caitlin Clark? Time out. Aaliyah Boston is a National Player of the Year. Aaliyah Boston is a Olympic gold medalist. Aaliyah Boston is an NCAA champion. Aaliyah Boston has her own status and prestige in the WNBA. She's just as accomplished, if not more so, than Caitlin Clark. So why would you reduce her to being the on-court mammy whose new job now is not to play basketball, but to defend the privileged white girl, Caitlin Clark, from other black female athletes? It's not fair. And then we come to LeBron Buck Dancing James, LBJ. And then LeBron James gets on the internet and he basically tells the black women of the WNBA to chill out and relax. Caitlin Clark is the reason you guys
LeBron, low blow.
She's the reason
I call him low blow
that you
James.
guys are making more money. She's the reason attendance has
LBJ.
She's the reason you guys are getting chartered flights. Guess what? I disagree with you, LeBron James. I disagree with you. And let me tell you why. Have you noticed, LeBron James, Charles Barkley, Shannon Sharp, that because of Angel Reese, the Chicago Sky tickets have quadrupled in sale, that the stadium has quadrupled in attendance? Why is nobody talking about the Angel Reese effect? So you're telling me people are going to watch Angel Reese? Although Caitlin Clark does not play in Chicago, people are going to watch Angel Reese because Caitlin Clark is in the WNBA? That's not true. They're watching Angel Reese for Angel Reese. Last time I checked, Angel Reese beat the University of Iowa for the national championship 2 years ago. And the reason why Angel Reese is being demonized by the WNBA, white media, white society, and the coonocracy of the WNBA is because they did not forgive her for spoiling Caitlin Clark's season 2 years ago. In the 2022-2023 national semifinals of the women's NCAA tournament, Caitlin Clark in Iowa went against North Philadelphia's Dawn Staley,
but you know what?
And the undefeated Lady Gamecocks of the University of South Carolina.
But you know what?
They were
She
undefeated.
is on two in the championship game. She is on two in the championship game. It just so happened. She, like he said, she playing on the team with
I think you about to bring it up.
Yeah, and both for Andrew Reese. Well, you know, yeah, she is on two. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna let
Even though she scored. Yeah, even though she scored, you know, I guess she got some of the high scoring points or whatever, most points in the NCAA. That's good. But she still didn't win the big thing though. So that was a personal, individual, you know, stats, which is good. But she didn't win it as a team.
Well, like a lot of people say that she just ain't no help. But that's
well.
But
see, you gotta either you're gonna take the fact that, huh? You said what now? What'd you say?
That's the going punchline they always use.
But you got to take the good with the bad. So either you're going to take the fact that she allegedly didn't have any help that would give her the green light to shoot 23s a fucking game, because if she had help or allegedly what they said more talented roster, she wouldn't be able to take too many shots. So she wouldn't be the Caitlin Clark that's shooting a high volume of threes. So it worked in her advantage for her to be on the team, allegedly, from what they said, with less talent. So she can get a high volume of shots off. So either you got to take it or leave. Which one they gonna do?
Well, let me bring this up. Let me play this. I got two things to do right out here. I'm gonna play something you played earlier.
Defeated. And the referees robbed Dawn Staley and the Lady Gamecocks. It was a highway robbery. If you breathed on Caitlin Clark, they called a foul. But when the Lady Gamecocks were being beat up, Aaliyah Boston and company, no fouls were called. They were robbed. So after the White Snow Bunny referees robbed South Carolina in the national semifinals game, America thought that Caitlin Clark would cruise to the national championship. But guess who had something to say about that? Angel Reese and the LSU Tigers. And Angel Reese knocked off Caitlin Clark to win an NCAA National Women's Championship, and America has not forgiven her for that. Let's go to this year. So, once again, Iowa sees Dawn Staley's Lady Gamecocks. Aaliyah Boston is in the WNBA. The referees couldn't cheat them this time. Now, they did beat Angel Reese in the semifinals. So, Caitlin Clark and Iowa did get some of their revenge, but they didn't get all of their revenge because when Angel Reese beat you, she won a ring. When you beat her, you didn't win a ring. And then you lost to Dawn Staley, a coach, by the way, who only lost 3 games in 3 seasons. Undefeated, unprecedented season. Dawn Staley is going to go down in history as the greatest women's basketball coach of all time. But guess what? She's not getting no attention at all. All the attention is going on the loser, Caitlin Clark. When have you ever seen the losing team get more attention than the woman team? And to add insult to injury, I can't believe that Gayle King, Oprah Winfrey's running mate, had the audacity to interview Coach Dawn Staley in the aftermath of the University of South Carolina's national championship. And she asks Dawn Staley, this is a black woman, elder, interviewing another black woman, youth. And she says, what were you thinking? What was going through your mind? Because we were all rooting for Caitlin Clark in the University of Iowa. Time out, Gayle. Time out, Gayle. Who was rooting for Caitlin Clark in the University of Iowa? Because I wasn't. I was rooting for my North Philadelphia sister coach, Dawn Staley, and the Lady Gamecocks. And I watched them more than men's basketball. Caitlin Clark isn't the only reason people are tuning into women's college basketball in the WNBA. It's because of Dawn Staley, the Lady Gamecocks, Angel Reese, the improvement in ladies competition over the past couple years. And yes, Caitlin Clark. I will not deny her impact. But
now, I'm going to pause it right there because I want to give you some statistics on the WNBA. Let's pull this up. WNBA $50 million loss. Now, what did he say, Shaq? Win is more attention than paid on the loser. You are absolutely correct. Because that is what's been going on as a league. You are.
Well, that's the LeBron James effect. Ain't that what the LeBron James that fans say, psycho fans say? Oh, he's been to the finals 8 times in a row. And how many times have you won? 4 out of 8. So that's below 500, bro. No, actually, he been 8 times, but he been 10 times. So he won 4 out of 6, 4 out of 10.
All right, here we go, Shaq, right here.
$50 million, which is too funny because they've lost about $10 million a year since the league was created in 1997. They finally had a chance. We're on track to break even this year for the first time in history, thanks to Caitlin Clark. And then for no reason, they gave every team private jets, making a $50 million commitment so each team had chartered flights for the next 2 years. The WNBA is expected to lose $50 million, which is too funny because they've lost about $10 million a year since the league was created in 1997. They finally had a chance and we're on track to break even this year for the first time in history, thanks to Caitlin Clark. And then for no reason, they gave every team private jets, making a $50 million commitment so each team had chartered flights for the next 2 years. The WNBA.
Well, I mean,
I don't like that. That's AI. I don't like them. I don't know. I had to go look that up myself. I don't know. He said they made money, but broke even because of Caitlin Clark. I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that. That's a lie. Because you can only watch the fucking game. You can only watch her game. So that's a damn lie, man. Because you only watching her game then. Even if you just watching her game, on what? Show me the numbers. Show me the stats. What they bought? They bought tickets. They bought jerseys, shoes, what? Tell me. Show me.
Well, let me say something.
Just saying it.
Let me say something about this.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say something about this. Let me say something about this. Number one, they may be selling out games, but here's the thing. See, you got to understand. you gonna make money. They're not telling us the ticket price of these games, right? NBA ticket price probably high.
Right.
Number one. How many corporations are giving out tickets? Because I don't believe people just going to the game. Corporations giving out tickets, jobs, so forth. Like the bigger question is, how many people is watching the game? Because just you need TV revenue, concession revenue, and seating revenue. Ain't that many people watching like that for one thing.
They probably watching her games, but they ain't watching the other games, bro.
Yeah.
So the Indiana viewership might be up, and okay, good. We contribute it to when they play other because they got to play other teams, so other teams might get a little bit of that viewership too because they play them. But I don't know. I don't know. They can tell us anything, dog.
Yeah,
Dawson in the chat. I can't see the chat. What's good?
She in there. Yeah, you know. Breaking down your girl, Miss Jasmine Crockett. She was on the Breakfast Scrubs. Now listen, Shaq, you sent me this video earlier today. I'm gonna play it.
Y'all what y'all want. Ignorant motherfucking nigga that talk like them rappers. Now y'all listening. Now y'all paying attention, huh? I got y'all attention. Checkmate. Now let me tell y'all what y'all need to hear. We fucked up as a race of people since y'all so caught up into my delivery. 5% of children now are catching HIV from ages 13 to 21. What y'all worried about? 85% of the new chlamydia, all the new cases are teenagers. What y'all so caught up about? Nigga, only 35% of most kids in inner cities can read on or above their grade level. What the fuck are y'all talking about? These kids can't read. Come on, my nigga. So we gonna be real. Let's be real. I'm not bashing the black woman in her BBLs. I'm not bashing the black woman because she wearing eyelashes. I'm not fucking with the sister because she got too many baby daddies. I'm addressing men. Y'all wasn't paying attention then. So nigga,
So you know something I'm looking at here? Them numbers with that HIV and stuff could be actually way more.
That's something that need to be researched too.
Interesting. Let me see if this can pull up. She sent me something. It's interesting. I got this junk on the Google Drive. Let's see if we can call this up here. Let's see. Dalton just sent me a link. I'm gonna try to see can I pull this up. The crazy thing is I want you to work on this computer, Shaq, tonight because I ain't saying in my memory's overcrowded. So I gotta do some work in here. Let's see here. Let's see can I pull this up. Could work. Let's see. Oh, okay. It might work. Oh shit. Oh shit. Yeah, I got it, Dawson. Hold on for a minute. I got it. Hold on for a minute. Dawson says she obviously called into Alex Jones show today. So let's see what happens. Let's see if it works.
In Texas as a nurse, and what she's seen with COVID shot.
Oh, Alex, I just want to say I'm a melanated person. I don't like to call myself black. I am a American.
We love you.
That's what I love you too, Alex, and everybody in this world, no matter the hue, color of your skin. This is the start of a, end of procreation and a beginning of a depopulation agenda. So what I got hurt as a registered nurse a couple of years ago, but I received several calls from my friends who said, during the pandemic, it wasn't a lot of hospitalizations. It was a few, but the hospitalization shot up after the shot or the jabs came into play. So they started seeing people with cardiac issues, strokes, aneurysms, blood clots. I even had family members caught, and I did warn my family members and friends, Alex, I did warn them. We had a family member, they wanted to go on a cruise bed, took the jab, even though he had already had COVID. And I told him he had the antibodies, he didn't need it. Well, he gets a blood clot developed in the bottom of his legs, almost the size of a basketball. So they had to cut his leg off.
Wow.
And we found our family members found her, one of our family members found her dead lying in the chair. Another family member, and I don't think nobody's touching on this, Alex, when these people die, they always die flat on their face or flat on their back. So that's how you know it's definitely attacking the heart. Just had a family member die, a friend, liver. It's attacking the liver as well. But I want to talk about this, Alex, because I've been a registered nurse over 18 years. And I used to have to tell nurses who was even older than me, and I was a charge nurse, a nurse preceptor, that's people who train the nurses. I used to always tell them, go read your laws. Go read the Board of Nursing Examiner laws in the state of Texas or wherever state you're from. Everything you do, you have to do with scientific evidence-based research. It tells you, nurses, even doctors, but nurses I'm talking about, what would a competent and prudent nurse do? So the nurses could either be taking a task for giving these jabs, not knowing we had no evidence, scientific-based research. What about the vaccine information sheet? We've given people pneumonia shots, flu vaccines, and we tell them the side effects, correct? You mean there's nothing, no documentation or material for a vaccine information sheet? That's question of cause right there. But I'm going to tell you, and that's why the country...
Well, that's right. We have the famous videos of the pharmacist 3 years ago opening up the sheet. There's nothing on it.
Nothing on it. So how are we practicing something that's evidence-based scientific research? Dr. Fauci said he's the science, right? And let me tell you this, Alice, nobody talked about this. I work with teams of doctors, so we would do rounds because I worked on a cardiac intermediate care unit. You had several doctors on the team. You mean to tell me we only listening to one doctor, Dr. Fauci or Deborah Burke? See, it's like people thinking went out the window, Alex, and it has caused death, it has caused harm, and of our own population here in America. And of course, it was designed to attack my culture, people too. And I want to give a shout out to your products. Went to the doctor, my thyroid was low. I kept him in the commercial about your niacin iodine. I took it literally for like a couple of weeks. Just got my lab results back, and my levels are normal. The brain forest is off the chart. It helps.
Cher, I want you to know something. I love you. You're a beautiful woman and a beautiful person, and we're going to beat them together. God bless you.
That was our friend Miss Dawson. Let's just be honest. Good thing. If they strike it down, this is definitely on me. Well, it's on me, but I really don't give a damn, right? I've been banned before.
Dawson, old Dawson. Dawson been working, baby. That's what we need. Hey, you can put that work in, man.
If they strike me for a week or two, I take this one on the chin. I ain't taking it. I ain't removing this one. It's kind of interesting. You know, it is what it is, man. But yeah.
Shout out, shout out to Dawson. Give another shout out to Dawson. She's one of the American Avengers, baby. You know that's the name I gave her, the American Avengers.
Hey, look, man, it's okay. Doesn't matter. I can say the views of the video are not of your opinion, but of your guess, which I have done before. But unfortunately, Miss Dawson, if you realize that even the first video I played with Mr. Biden, they're saying that now misinformation, saying that Mr. Biden is what they call let's use the words a dementia patient. it's misinformation, and they saying now they want to, you know, as in social media, I guess, what's the new words now? Give you a warning label on your social media account for your kids. But if you're saying that Biden is a lunatic or not right, that's misinformation, and you need to be censored, which is going way out of bounds. But you clear yourself, Barack Obama pull him off the stage. So that's that. You know what, Chak, I'm going back to it, man. Let me go back to the well one more time because I really had to play that
drama.
not that fool. Not him yet. I'm going back one more time in the well, just 3 minutes, probably, because I had to get to that Umar interview before I got, because I tell you I wrote that stuff down on paper, so I wanted to get my points on paper out of the way. I'm going back to my esteemed friend here. This is Claire.
We can't hear it. Not playing on our end.
All right, hold on. Oh, I know what's up. I still had Delson Fowler.
This, you know, if we just lead by example. And it's like these people ain't following no example. Like the only example they follow is Trump, right? Mm-hmm. And that's exactly who Marjorie is. Like Trump goes out, he makes a nickname for everybody, calling them out their name, calling their wives out their names, that kind of stuff. So she thought that she was gonna come at me. Baby, you need to keep that on y'all side of the aisle, because clearly you ain't never went to school with a black person, because you would have known, do not talk about a black person. Like we grew up talking about each other. Like that's what we do. Like,
that's easy.
So
exactly. It is very easy. So she learns.
How did you feel about when you see people pulling up to Marjorie Greene at the airport? And,
that was amazing.
Because that's gonna happen all the time now.
That was amazing.
So when you saw that, what did you
video,
think?
No. That's me out. It was because I was laid in bed, and the person that sent me the video was actually Amanda. So Amanda Seals, yes. So she sent me the video, and she's like,
Wait a minute. Amanda Seals.
Hold up. Bag the train up. Bag the train up. These are grown ass women with the see. Okay, you got your lick back. I'm cool with them getting a lick back. I'm good with that. But you see the messy petty shit, all the stuff that's going on, and you see what they got time to embellish on. You got your lick back. I'm cool with that.
Amanda Seals, are you
petty boy?
Me, man? Come on, man.
Messy Amanda. She's a messy.
I knew Amanda Seals was doing better than Shield. I told you that better than was.
We knew, dude. Come on, bro. We already knew that. Come on, man. Stop. We already knew that. Especially when she said she was one of the ones that said that if she most likely if she walked up, a black man would be the most one to kill her. Some stuff like, whoa, hold on, bro. What? See, they keep pushing these narratives out here, man, and these stereotypes, and they perpetuate these stereotypes, yo.
Well, look, let me.
She name dropper. Man, who was Amanda Seals? She ain't nobody, bro.
She say Amanda Seals?
She ain't nobody. She's a culture broker. Amanda Seals is the culture broker.
But the fact that she calling her, that already let me know what type of time she on. But go ahead.
And I was like,
the only thing I don't like about that though is I don't want them to encourage to do that to y'all, because Because they're a little, they're gonna be different.
No. But you know what? They always are a little different with us. I mean, I get death threats, right? Like that's not what it should be to me in politics. Like I've not done anything that should warrant anybody trying to take my life ever. And so, you know, they are the radicals that are always doing
she talking about
pushing the envelope.
You're a
Right? Like
congresswoman?
these are the ones that went into the Capitol and trying to tear it apart. So like they about that life anyway, right? Like you're talking about neo-Nazis, you're talking about the Proud Boys. Like I'm the type of person
I
that
wouldn't
they gonna come
disagree
for my
with her,
neck
but it's
no
on
matter
both
what.
aisles, bro. When
And so we do
it's
have
on
to
when
have
it's on the
heightened
left or the
security
liberal,
consistently.
the
And
blue
when you look
aisle,
at the
y'all
threats
told them out to go out there
overall
and tear the
against
rose up. Y'all told them
politicians, they
to
have
go
consistently
beat up
gone up and up and up.
MAGA supporters, bro. So don't act like y'all innocent and y'all nothing violent now, bro. Stop playing games now. See, this is where the hypocrisy come in. Y'all both play games and throw mud and dirt on each other. Sling mud, sling slop on each other, bro. Don't try to play like y'all take the high road. Stop it. Because I ain't hear you reprimand Maxine Waters telling people to go out there. I ain't see her reprimand Maxine Waters when she told people to go out there and
She changed clothes like Jay-Z said in the song, man.
Gained a law license knew that this was a nothing burger case simply because they literally didn't have standing. The fact that a case that lacked standing made it all the way to the Supreme Court. And for those that aren't lawyers, essentially you can't sue if you haven't been harmed in some way. And that's essentially what we had, was a case that literally had people that had not been harmed. And the fact that it made it past the trial level and the appellate level and made it all the way to the Supreme Court is absolutely insane. But that's because we have these right wingers on every single level of the courts that are absolutely committed to doing their random Christian, and it's not a Christian, it's Christo-fascism movement that they're all standing in the gap for. And then they basically signal to the court, tell us how we can get a case to you and how you will rule on the merits. And so basically the court decided, listen, we're not going to rule on the merits. This never had standing, and so we'll just leave it there. But it's important for us to really focus in on the fact that y'all were real nice a second ago. Listen, Clarence Thomas is corrupt. End of story. I mean, nobody gets this kind of money and isn't influenced in any way. That is where we stand, and that is why the American
go on both sides of the aisle now. See, this is where the hypocrisy is. They don't call out their own. And why would they?
I absolutely believe that there
Why would they?
is a reckoning on November 5th.
I've got a problem that I'm pretty sure you can help me with. Yes, you will be paid for helping me. Actually paid really, really.
Huh? You said what now?
Well, money.
All right, so Michael, everything
Yeah, she doing what she getting paid to do.
Litigants
She doing exactly what she getting paid to do.
right now,
To
and that
be
means
a political shield.
venues to bring their, and one of those
That's what you
venues
get paid
we've
to
seen a
do.
lot of movement toward our
It works on both
Supreme
ends, both
Court.
ends,
There's been
both
renewed
sides of the
focus on
bird,
state
baby.
Supreme Courts in the
Bird wing.
election in the post-Dobbs era, and this year a total of 82 state Supreme Court seats are up for grabs in 33 states. What is at stake in these judicial elections, and how do we get people to pay attention to these very much down ballot races?
Well, just words up. Just words up. We had a primary in Virginia today. I haven't checked on everything, but I want you to I want to play something right quick that happened in New York City.
To a series of anti-Israel incidents around New York City, raising concerns and condemnation from top officials, including a disturbing scene caught on camera on the subway. Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky joins us with more. Aaron, good morning.
And good morning to you. With this escalating series of provocations in the city has moved beyond protest and toward what the mayor here has called overt, unacceptable anti-Semitism. Masked protesters took over this New York City subway car and demanded riders identify themselves if they're Zionists.
Raise your hands if you're a Zionist! Raise your hands if you're a Zionist! This is your chance to get out! This is your chance to get out! Okay, no Zionists, we're good.
The train was held on the station. Officers in riot gear descended onto the platform as some protesters clashed with police. They were part of a rally that included a large banner, "Long Live October 7th," and the flags of terror groups Hamas and Hezbollah. Protesters chanted, "Long live the Intifada," a reference to Palestinian uprisings, and set off flares outside an exhibit remembering the victims of the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel. Mayor Eric Adams called it reprehensible and vile.
I thought the actions that we saw in front of the exhibit was just despicable.
This surveillance video shows people getting out of a truck, spilling red paint on the street outside the Manhattan office of the Palestinian Authority, and scattering leaflets that called for more violence against Israel. Red paint and a threatening sign defaced the home of the director of the Brooklyn Museum, who is Jewish. On the door, they painted an inverted red triangle, the symbol used by Hamas. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer showed the pictures on the Senate floor.
This is not even close to free speech. It is intimidation, invasive attacks loaded with the threat of looming violence.
Police are now investigating whether this hateful vandalism is the work of the same people. And Michael, what you heard on that subway car is no longer a matter of free speech. Asking Zionists to identify themselves, the NYPD is now considering an implicit threat. They're looking to charge the leader of the call and response with attempted coercion. Michael?
All right, Aaron. Thank
Go! That's funny. Yeah.
you. Details on the
And they going too far with this shit, man. They are going too far with this shit, though. God damn it. Well, they did make a rule last week that you can't wear masks on the subway no more because they said Jewish people being attacked and people wearing masks and stuff. I guess that's part of the deal too, right? Go figure. Yeah. Check this out.
bus hijacking that left one person dead in Atlanta. This morning, we're hearing from the driver in his only on-camera interview. Our Faith Abube is in Atlanta with the latest. Good morning, Faith.
And good morning to you, Michael. That bus driver who the police chief has hailed a hero, telling us that he was ready to die for his passengers. Fortunately, though, it didn't come to that. And this morning, we're hearing more stories. And also that suspect is behind bars facing multiple charges, more than a dozen, including kidnapping and murder.
This morning, new details about what unfolded during those terrifying moments on a hijacked bus full of commuters in Atlanta.
We're very shaken, and it was really traumatic.
Paulette Gilbert was with 15 other passengers on the Gwinnett County Transit bus Tuesday when police say 39-year-old Joseph Greer got into a fight with another passenger. According to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, that passenger pulled out a gun, Greer then grabbing it and shooting him and taking the bus hostage.
Someone has the driver hostage.
Overnight, the driver and his daughter speaking with ABC News.
I don't know exactly what other people will do on my place. But for me, I was right because people always coming first. I was ready to die for them.
You know, what happened to my dad is not just, a singular occurrence. It's happening all over the world.
The suspect, Greer, leading police on a dangerous chase through rush hour traffic, causing multiple crashes along the way. All the while, Greer had the gun trained on Antoine, who had only been on the job for 3 months.
He turned the gun on me. And directed me to go. Don't stop on the road. If I stop, he's going to kill me.
Another passenger telling ABC News when police finally stopped the bus, Greer threw his gun and tried to disguise himself as one of the victims.
When I get out, the police point the gun on me. I said, no, I'm not the killer. I'm the driver. And then they asked me, who is the killer? I say, him.
Police say the 39-year-old is a convicted felon with 19 prior arrests. Moments before he allegedly took the transit bus hostage, this man, who identified himself as Greer, recording an interview with reporters at the scene of another shooting just blocks away in downtown Atlanta, telling them he witnessed that shooting.
He ran. That's when the whole shooting happened.
Meanwhile, family members remembering the 58-year-old victim, Ernest Bird, who died at the hospital, saying he's survived by 7 children and 7 grandchildren.
He was just an amazing man, a family man, a protector, a provider, and I just want that to be known about him.
The other passengers grateful the frightening ordeal is now behind them.
We don't believe what happened, but we're going to make it.
And that suspect has said that he suffers from bipolar disorder and hasn't gotten his medication in weeks. In the meantime, though, we're learning that an employee of Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis was also a victim and a witness in this incident. Michael.
All right. Thank you so much.
Whoa! Whoa!
Hold on. Did that? Hold on.
Crazy
You
shit
need
right
whoa. What? Huh?
She was also a victim and witness in this event. Man, this might have been a sign out, man. Hey, come on, man. Yo, come on, man. This is funny. Oh, my God. Oh. Okay. Okay. Speaking of Fannie Willis, let me make her my last expose. Here go Fannie Willis again, since they brought her up.
With ISSA, I learned everything from the body's muscles, skeletal structure, how to write a proper training program, proper.
District Attorney Fonnie Willis is taking aim at her critics during a speech at a Marietta church. Now, all of this comes as lawyers for former President Donald Trump and his co-defendants prepared to appeal the decision by Fulton County Judge Scott McAfee to allow her office to remain on the election interference case.
And at Love the Lives, Karis Belger was inside Turner Chapel AME Church today for her remarks.
So I have a word to America today. Black women are sick and tired of being sick and tired.
While addressing the congregation at Turner Chapel AME Church, Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis also took time to address her critics, like former New York Mayor Rudolph Giuliani, one of the co-defendants in the Fulton County election interference case against former President Donald Trump.
I've heard from friends of all religious backgrounds and all races, really disgusted that in God's house, ugliness against women is celebrated and not condemned.
The remarks came less than 24 hours after Willis filed a motion to dismiss the appeal that is seeking to have her removed from the case. If the motion is denied, the Georgia Court of Appeals will hear arguments in October. Willis did not directly address the case, but did say she would continue to work toward what she calls her mission to make sure justice serves every member of the public.
I have caused others so much fear by having the audacity to work towards my oath every day to make sure Lady Justice works hard for, hear me on this, that Lady Justice works hard every day to serve all of her constituents.
Former Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade sat in the back of the audience but did not make any remarks. And like Willis, he did not take questions after the speech. His romantic relationship with Willis led to the initial hearings, which resulted in him stepping down from the case. Now, the proceedings are on hold until the Georgia Court of Appeals makes a final ruling on the appeal filed by Trump and his co-defendants.
Well, the woman.
Well, I'll be damned. Still heading to the church house. Still heading to the church house. Very interesting. Let me pull this up. 571. What is it? 571. I forget the day on sometimes. 0773. Let's see. All right. So this is the last one we played tonight. By Houston, there was a woman shot. Shaq, I wanted to say Willie Mays died. Shaq, the baseball player. Willie Mays died in 93 today. Just want to put that out there. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Died in 93.
Woman who was shot in the head in the Houston Zoo parking lot says that she is heartbroken that no one has been charged. Fox 26's Domely Keith spoke with her only on Fox and joins us live outside of the zoo. Domely, what happened?
Well, the mother of four says her trip to the zoo with her children turned into a nightmare. She was shot 3 months ago by a security guard during the spring break, and it was packed in the Houston Zoo parking lot. And that's when she got into a disagreement with another driver. And she says she wants justice after she was shot by the security guard. Now, according to the Houston Police Department, the security guard tells them that he opened fire into the car with the mother and her 4 children inside after she tried to run him over, which she denies. Now, here's how Diamond Hunter says it all started when she and another driver tried to park in the same spot.
You're sitting on my vehicle.
So he gets out because he was driving to his wife to get in the driver's seat. And he gets and stand in front of my car.
That man put his hands on her baby, her 2-year-old.
That's when security came over. I'm thinking that security was going to come and defuse the situation.
When Diamond went to move her car, she let one of the security guards know that she was moving the car. On video, you can hear one of the security guards respond, okay, and the 2 security guards shot into the car.
I'm the victim, but apparently the speculation says I'm the one that hit him with the car. I hate that the news has tarnished my character.
This is one of the most appalling cases I've ever handled. There was no justifiable use of deadly force.
She could have been in a casket. Like, we could have been burying a mother. And for these babies, to go through that, like, no, nobody deserves that.
Where were you shot?
In the middle of my forehead, and then right here on the side of my face.
She had 1 bullet ricochet off her forehead, but the force of that bullet caused a traumatic brain injury.
So you have PTSD, you have constant ringing in your ear. And you have headaches?
Yes.
I'm a mother of 5. And to shoot into a vehicle.
Interviewing me, I'll be in jail.
I think that had Diamond drove her.
The security guard who shot you, you want him to be criminally charged?
Yes. That was attempted murder. What if I didn't make it?
Now, Hunter says she and her children are now plagued with nightmares. She has filed a lawsuit against the Houston Zoo, TMAR Protective Services, which is the security office, and who is the security company involved in the incident, and the 2 security guards have also.
I forgot to play this. Because I did forget to play this earlier. Chak, you got a daughter.
So hold on, security officer. I ain't never heard about a security officer shooting.
I think it's crazy as hell that this happened, because your child could be going to a zoo or something, and something like this could happen. That is some crazy shit, man. And this happened at the Houston Zoo, they say.
But why do security officers at the zoo got firearms? Why they got weapons? What goes? What is this a bad area or something?
I have no idea. I'm gonna have to ask Dawson about it.
Damn. Wow. Maybe it's like that at every prison facility.
So women have never been required to.
Now, all right, Chak, Dawson has a son, you got a son and a daughter. Now, what I forgot to tell you last week was when they passed this, they passed this bill in the House about people 18 to 26 having to register for the draft. Well, guess what? You thought they were talking about men, weren't you? Oh, no. We talking about women too.
To register for the draft, but that could soon change thanks to lawmakers on Capitol Hill. Mike Emanuel live in Washington with more. Hi, Mike.
Martha, good morning. The Senate version of the National Defense Authorization Act, which sets out military and national security priorities, would require women to register for selective service. Missouri Republican Senator Josh Hawley is not a fan, writing on X, quote, "I'm not voting for any defense bill that forces my daughter to register for the draft. Not now, not ever." And he's not alone. Texas Republican Congressman Chip Roy also reacting on X, quote, "You can go straight to hell over my dead body." The argument for women being a part of the draft comes from experts such as the National Commission on Military, National, and Public Service. It concludes, quote, "This is a necessary and fair step, making it possible to draw on the talent of a unified nation in a time of national emergency." Now, there are two different versions of this bill, one in the House, one in the Senate. So it's possible women in the draft could get dropped as lawmakers iron out the differences. Martha?
Mike, thank you very much. Mike.
Oh, so you thought it was just men, didn't you? Oh, no, women. They trying to draft you 18 to 26 for that draft, too. Don't just think it's men. Oh, no, they're saying this is an all-for-one type of deal. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Anybody sign this bill need to get their ass out of Congress, though. All right, we got to find names for these people. Who put this down? Now, I don't even like it for men, but damn, ain't no women need to be going no draft. That's crazy. Yeah, that's a little bit out of bounds there. But if you thought I was joking, just ask your friend right here. Top-notch hoes get the mo, not the less.
Well, Madam Vice President, we would love to close with one more question from you. I mean, there's so many amazing young leaders here that are streaming from all over the country.
Look, Chak, she meeting with Quavo. He got a foundation summit. Yeah, this Kamala Harris and Quavo. Migos. Yeah, that's right.
Activists, frontline providers, violence intervention, mentors, so many leaders. And I'm just curious, what would you say to the young leaders of the future of how they can be a part of the change and really help turn this issue around?
Well, I'll start with this. You were born a leader. And for the young leaders who are here now, you have clearly decided to activate that as early and as soon as possible. And that inspires all of us. Our country needs you. And so I got plenty of advice. Okay, here you go. So let's start with this. You're gonna hear many times in your life, oh, nobody like you has done that before. Oh, you're too young. Oh, it's not your time. Wait your turn. This is one I love. Oh, it's gonna be hard work. Don't you ever listen to that. Let me tell you, I have a saying, I eat no for breakfast. I don't hear no until maybe the 10th time, and I don't hear it then either. So don't ever listen when someone tells you that the thing that you have passion about, that you know can be done. Don't ever listen when somebody tells you it's not possible. The other piece of advice I have is this. Don't ever be burdened by other people's limited ability to see who can do what. That's not your problem. That's not your problem. That's their problem. Got more advice.
I got a special song for this woman right here. I got a special song for her. You know I got to do it, Chak, one time, right? Well, that's all I was gonna say. If you're not a top-notch hoe, you're not doing it right. Kamala Harris, top-notch. They get the more, not the lesser. She's sitting at Pennsylvania Avenue. I don't know what the rest of them doing. That's all I'm gonna say. Pretty much right here. I mean, you know, it's mighty funny. They still got this mother running around. But it is what it is, right? So I just laugh at that. I think it's funny as hell. But still got to prancing around, you know.
There'll be many times when you're going to be in a room, a meeting room, a boardroom, where you're going to be the only one that looks like you in that room. The only one who's had the experiences that you've had. I want you to look around this room and hold this image in your heart and in your mind. And you remember when you walk in those rooms, we are all in that room with you. And so we expect and require that you walk in that room with your chin up and your shoulders back, knowing you are carrying the voice of so many people who are so proud that you are there. Don't ever let anyone suggest to you that you are alone, because that's one way to make somebody feel like they don't have people. You have people. You have people who stand with you. And so these are some of the things that I think is so important for our young leaders to remember. And in particular, our young leaders right now. You know, you talked, Greg, about active shooter drills. You know, when I was growing up, the closest thing we had is fire drills. Right? Our children, our young people, when I was doing the college tour, and I was doing it with college age people, so I was doing trade schools as well as universities and stuff. And I would ask the young people, raise your hand if at any point between kindergarten and 12th grade you had to endure an active shooter drill. Almost every hand went up. This one young person said to me, younger than the college, and said to me, yeah, that's why I don't like going to fifth period. I said, why, sweetheart? Why don't you like going to fifth period? And they said, well, because in fifth period, there's no closet to hide in. So we talk about trauma. It includes, especially when you're talking about children who are exposed to everyday gun violence, and they're doing active shooter drills, worrying about who might bust through the classroom door. Think about what our children are carrying in terms of the fear when their beautiful big brains should be open to the wonders of the world and being taught about the wonders of the world and excited about that. And so back to our young leaders, your voices on so many issues, including this one, are based on a lived experience, which gives authority and the right and the entitlement to go out and speak your truth and require that people listen to you. And don't stop talking until people listen to you. We are counting on you. And you know, when our young leaders start voting in their numbers on issues like this, we're going to see a sea change, because they're not going to wait. They're not going to wait, and they are not falling for the okie doke. So that's my advice. And then I guess my last piece is this. So I was proud when I was in the United States Senate to be one of the sponsors to make Juneteenth a federal holiday. And Juneteenth is tomorrow. So, you know, a lot of people have said, well, how should we be celebrating? And, you know, we have the traditions, of course, but how should we think about now as a federal holiday? So one of the things that I've issued as a call to action, so I would invite everyone to participate, is among the many ways that you celebrate Juneteenth, think about how you can ask just your neighbor or your cousin or somebody to make sure they're registered to vote. Let's think of it as a day of action to register people to vote as well for Juneteenth. So
bullshit. Hold on, Chak. I ain't done. I'm not done with Miss Kamala yet. Just wait a minute. Well, that ain't my style. Well, Bun B, Texas, said it as well. If they talk about, you know, I choose you. And then he said at the end, we trying to get chose. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure Miss Harris been chose plenty of times. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Yes, Dawson, you're right. I played the right song. That's why I did it. Just for some comedy, you know. Just the, you know, but he did say top notch hoes get the more, not the lesser. So I mean, you know, it is what it is, man. I mean, hey, I don't know why Quavo from Migos is hanging out with Kamala. You know, it's like talking about gun violence. What's this about? Oh, but then again, you forgot Kamala Harris is the gun czar. But I ain't seen Kamala Harris no gun range. She got Secret Service protection, so the people around Kamala Harris got guns. So I'm trying to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of things going on with her. But I've covered the clown shows: Kamala, Jasmine Crockett, Charlamagne the Fraud, DJ Envy. You know, and they've given Jasmine Crockett a platform. Jasmine Crockett is all over the news now. She's out and open. So it is what it is. Like I said, I ain't got too much time, but I got to do tests. But like I said, I just say it one more time. Anybody want to call in 571-450-0773. How you doing, Mama Chief? Always good to have you. And like I said, it's interesting. A lot of things going on.
We got Mama Chief in the chat. Peace. Hey, I told Bernard that we're gonna have to run that civil order from the Pope to Obama. So you're gonna have to drop that to me. We need to run that back. I don't think people need to know the severity of that.
Well, the world got changed.
When we get a chance, we might have to do it on your platform first, but then we'll come over here and do it when we get some chance. Get the chance.
In 2014, it all
changed.
Yeah,
2014. Yep.
Well, a lot of people are talking about it because it's a little bit more equivalent with the Pope, because that was the year when they did that overthrow in Ukraine, and that's how Zelensky got into power in Ukraine. That was in 2014 as well. Matter of fact, they ran a coup in Ukraine.
2014.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, after 2014, with Mike Brown over there, 2015. That's when that blue alert law came into law too in 2015. I think in March 2015, that blue alert law came into law. And what Obama is not telling you, by the way, but I'm going to tell you that a lot of those police officers that were fucking us up were Israeli police officers that they were putting on the force, or police officers that went to Israel to do what they did. A lot of people not talking about that. See, never leave Israel out of the equation.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and Barack Obama was also trying to make money, give money to Holocaust survivors and all this other stuff. So, there's a whole lot of stuff that went down in there. I mean, if you want me to go for a payback of the whole Obama administration, I can start with Race to the Top. I can start with Boko Haram. I can talk about a lot of things that AFRICOM and him and George Bush put in. It's so much stuff you get to Obama that man did in 8 years. To just reach in utter destruction. And I don't even like to talk about Obama just in America. I talk about Obama.
You forgot who his wingman was.
Who? George Soros? George Bush who? Rick Brzezinski? Oh,
Ricky
Biden.
Joe.
Oh, yeah, Biden. Yeah, Biden.
Ricky Joe, right there.
I mean, Biden is wingman now. I mean, I don't even consider Biden to be his wingman. He is wingman now, because really, to tell you the truth, when you saw Barack Obama walk Biden out that daggone place the other day, as a matter of fact, Biden made a record of cash too the other day for that fundraiser they had out there in Los Angeles the other day. You know what I mean? A lot of money. Off that fundraiser. So Obama, Jimmy Kimmel. Matter of fact, the woman that Judge Brown was talking about that was speaking for Biden too, Cheryl Lee Ralph was there. That's the other one that was there. That fundraiser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was there too. Matter of fact, she had one of the opening
Look
speeches.
here, man.
Everybody jump for Cracker
Kingdom. Welcome to Wakanda. Welcome to Kingdom.
Are they jumping for Cracker Jacks?
Home of the Cracker Jacks.
Yep.
Where you say hi, and we say jump, and you say ha ha.
Got a point there.
Yeah.
They jumping really high for this.
Cum Dalali.
Jumping really high.
Don't they say they graduated cum laude?
Magna cum laude.
Magna cum laude.
Shout out to I'm gonna play this on another show. Shout out to your brother Darren Muhammad for the information that he been talking about it. You know, HBCU closing. You go online, pull up HBCU's closing. You know, one of them in North Carolina due to IRS failures and stuff like that. Out of St. Augustine. Matter of fact, I got friends that went to St. Augustine. We had St. Paul's in Virginia closed here.
St. Augustine, Florida.
St. Augustine, North Carolina. It's North Carolina HBCU, but they may be threatening to close their doors. They having some financial issues, IRS type things, stuff like that. 3 Mississippi schools on the verge of closing. So
name them. You got the names?
3 Mississippi schools?
Jackson State, Alcorn State. Yeah.
Alcorn State, the great Steve McNair.
Yo. What? Why did we call him a name, man?
Okay. I'm about to pull it up right now. The 3 HBCUs is in the Vicksburg Post. But now they're not letting me get it. I had it earlier, but they're not oh, here it is. Kept on saying you need to sign scripture. It's in the Vicksburg Post. Mississippi Valley State, Alcorn State, and how about Jackson State? Where Dion was at? Ain't that some shit?
Wow. So that's, but you know what? Jackson State, y'all told you it was a female that made it to the WNBA from Jackson State, dude. I think she was the defensive player of the year or something like that. She made it to the WNBA. I can't think of her name. I should have looked it up though. But wow.
But hey, man, these HBCUs having some financial troubles. That's the world of Mr. Biden, unfortunately. Only one seems to be doing good is Howard and a few others. But you know how it go. You always get short in the stick when you don't know what's going on. But anyway, don't worry about it. Go ahead and I'm gonna cover them HBCUs now. They just charge the information, brother.
Yeah, man. Matter of fact, man, we gotta give a shout out to Marcus, man. You know his birthday tomorrow. He told me his birthday tomorrow. It's right around his birthday on Juneteenth.
Hey, man. It is what it is.
But yeah, man, y'all can tap in with your boy, man, Shaq Wall on YouTube, and Shaq _ Edwards on Instagram, Shaq Edwards on Facebook.
Okay.
Man. Tap in.
I got an announcement to make here. So, it's supposed to be 100 degrees here on Richmond.
Would you get married?
No, bro. Chill. No, well, I mean, it got something to do with children over here.
I thought you was jumping the broom, bro. Damn. My bad.
But look, here we go. I was at so I was out last week. Went to my boy, you know, his summer camp. Got about 35 kids. You know, gave him a little donation. I don't know what's going on the next couple weeks. They got started having these summer leagues and stuff. So I will be at a couple of these events, probably 1 or 2. Probably check out what they're going at the summer camp. I'm glad that my buddy got his building because, you know, when I was a child, you know, really a lot of, I really had things to do. I mean, we couldn't wait to go outside and play ball or whatever the case may be. Sometimes these children don't have a lot to do outside, and that's why you have a lot of problems. Well, I was guy I grew up with, like I said, he, we played ball together. Used to come over to the house sometime. Mom used to pick us up. Well, he finally got his center for the kids. They got game rooms, all that stuff. So, like I said, I just put it out there. I was there. Very impressive. And that's the things that got to be done these days because the children need things to do. Unfortunately, in Chicago and other areas, the migrants are taking over those spaces. And we had a place called Southwood Community Center where we used to go play ball at, and that is completely Hispanic city over there. So, but like I said, all's well that ends well. I don't know which one of these camps I'll be at. One or two of them probably. They starting to launch these summer leagues, Ben Wallace Summer League and all that stuff. So I don't know. But a couple of these events I'll be at more frequently. And it's always interesting to go to these events because I always find like a little liaison or somebody that's talking just like we talking. You just got to be around the area to talk to these people. It'd be few and far between, but you might find five. You might find, if you find one, you're doing good. Two, you're lucky. Three, a gold mine. Four is almost like a utopia. So it's always good when you do these things. And a lot of brothers are becoming kind of united. It's good to see. Sisters as well.
But
so
you should have played that. You didn't get a chance to play that clip I sent you with,
with Jay Hoover.
Yeah, Jay Hoover. I think that's a good closeout. Can you pull it up or not?
Yeah. Let me pull it up. Yeah, I put it up.
Because we gotta let people know that it ain't peachy cream. Because yes, we got some people that's able to go to college and live in decent neighborhoods and start businesses and go on vacations and stuff. But that's still a dark history.
My
American
neighborhood,
history secret.
my neighborhood, when I came home today, hey, what the hell?
Huh?
My neighborhood, when I came home, I ain't had no goddamn power. What the fuck? Shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I said, man, we might not be able to do this show tonight. I ain't had no power. And it won't no daggone rain. And look, they said 2,400 people in this area was out of power. And guess what? They didn't even tell you what the cause of it was. That let me know this shit was some bullshit.
Test run? I don't know. You'll never know, man. You never know with these jokers, man.
I know. But the good thing is, I had the water ready for my ass. But here we go. Let me play this.
Was asked what in his opinion was the single greatest threat to the United States of America. The single greatest threat. His response, Negro unity. Take a moment to let that sink in. The slaves uniting means the end of everything that we built.
Flag on the play. Flag on the play.
For us to understand.
Stop thinking yourself as a damn slave.
The rah-rah is great. Understand what it really means. The real meaning of unity is a serious threat.
This is why we keep saying if we want change, we must unite. You wouldn't believe
Shout out to the research guy, man. Well, and all the American Indians out there, bro. That's in the work in, man. Research and work in.
I'm gonna say about J. Edgar Hoover. We had two J. Well, actually, Barack Obama was the CIA, so he was actually way worse. J. Edgar Hoover, the shit that Barack Obama did, J. Edgar Hoover was probably smiling his way about that shit. So I mean, Barack Obama 10 times worse, J. Edgar Hoover. So I mean, painted very highly, but that'd be it. I mean, good show. It's interesting. Good thing. Pay attention. A lot of things be happening next coming weeks. I told you 100 degrees. And then I asked the lady down the street, you know what, the power out? She was like, this is what the lady said. I know people got to be cuckoo. She said probably too many people using the electricity at one time. 1 minute, 5 o'clock in the daytime, man. Get that shit out of here, woman. Crazy ass.
I don't know.
Take your time, man. Have a good night.
Yeah, man. Peace. Salute to everybody, man, in the chat, man. Peace, peace.
Yes, sir.